All right, so before I say anything at all, I want you guys to listen to this.
If you have not incorporated your business as a limited and the other forms of limited liability companies, if you have not operated it, register it like that, you will not be able to enjoy the company income tax rate of 0% because company income tax rate does not apply to you. In that case, for your business name or your enterprise that is not even registered as a business name, the regime that will apply to you is the informal sector presumptive tax. So that has some level of exemption for small businesses, but not up to the level for a company. So I would advise that if you can, just register a company.
All right, so I made some couple of videos last few weeks and talking about the new Nigerian Tax Act that is about to be effective from January 2026, and I got quite a lot of comments on my comment section. In fact, some were even blasting me that I'm not giving the right information, this and that. But the first thing, of course, that I always say is that I am not your tax advisor, and most of the videos I create are just for educational purpose. So even if you have a contrary opinion, you should just let us know what your opinion are, because honestly speaking, none of us really understand 100% how the federal government plans to go about enforcing these new tax laws. But then I remember that I created that video where I advise people that it would be better off if they can register a company that is a limited liability company rather than registering a business name. And some persons said, no, a business name, the government is not going to trouble you, and all you just have to do is just to make maybe pay payment from your salary, and then government is not going to tax you because you're a small business. Well, now you have heard what the federal government is saying about the tax as regard company or business name. So once again, like I said, I am not asking you to register or upgrade your business name to a company or register a limited company instead of a business name if you haven't done so already. All I'm giving you are advices and what I think will probably happen next year when the tax law become fully operational. So you can of course make your decision if you want to go for a business name or a company or a limited company. And if you're an agent, of course you also want to maybe gather some of this information and advise your clients and your customers if they should upgrade their business name to a company or if they should register a limited liability company over a business name. But from what I've studied so far and the information I've gathered, I want to believe that you're going to be safer if you run a company that is a limited liability company instead of a business name. Now, I know that many of you, the question is always, oh, if I register a company now, how about some other things that the government require that I do that may be very tedious, rather than just operating a business name that is easy, you don't need to do a lot of compliance and all of that. The truth of the matter is that there's really nothing much you are going to be doing if you register your business as a limited liability company, because I remember that I was listening to a radio program where an accountant was saying, hey, guys, don't register a company, register a business name. And he was talking about filing annual returns for a company that a business name may not need to do that. And I said, what are you saying? Either you run a business name or a company, or whichever one you're doing with the CAC, you must file your annual returns every year. Yes, we understand that when you're filing annual returns for your company, there are a little bit of more information that you will need to provide compared to that of a business name. But first of all, either you run a business name or a company, you cannot even file your annual return by yourself. You need the help of an accredited agent to do it for you. So it's not your headache to do. And trust me, most of the things that are going to be required from you if you have to file annual returns for a limited liability company, there are simple things that if you have experience with filing annual returns, they are just easy for you to provide. So I don't think that should scare you from saying, okay, let me just register a business name instead of a limited liability company. And honestly speaking, apart from the fact that if you run a company, maybe if you run a very big company, you might need maybe to have accountants or auditors that will help you, clean up your financial record and stuff like that. That is the only thing that I think might be a little bit scary for you if you run a company. And meanwhile, this is also not a big deal. The truth of the matter is that the government also realized that we have different sizes of companies, and that is the reason why even when you're doing your CAC registration, you will notice that you can either register your company as a big limited liability company or a small limited liability company, depending on the share capital that you're using while doing that registration. So I want to believe that if you run a very small limited liability company, you may not necessarily need an auditor to do some of these things for you. All you will have to do is just to keep a clean and a clear financial record, because that is the only thing that you will need to present, to prove to the tax officers that you are either eligible to pay tax or not. And before I end this video, let me quickly just wrap up by saying that, okay, the truth of the matter is that if you run a business name, what the government is saying is that your business name and you are not separated. You are the same. So you're going to be paying your tax as if you're paying the personal income tax. Some people say, okay, what that means is that you're only going to be paying from the salary you have portioned yourself from the business name. You can hear from the federal government just in the video I showed you a while ago that it's not going to be like that. The truth of the matter is that if you run a business name, you should have a business bank account. And as long as money is coming to that business bank account, you need to explain to the government, what those money are for. And if those money are for business, what do you think? I believe the government will ask you to pay tax on those monies. But if you're running a limited liability company, as long as you don't have a turnover of up to 100 million naira every year, that's around 8 million thereabout every month, which many small businesses don't even they are not eligible to pay. So legally, even if you're making transactions on your company account daily, as long as you have not reached that mark, the government is not going to ask you to pay a dime. But if you're on a business name, even though it's still a gray area now, but you can hear what the tax manager just mentioned a while ago. You will have to explain to the government what those money are for, and if they are for business, and because a business name is not different from you as an individual, then you might just be asked to pay the personal income tax from those money that are coming in. Why? Because you run a business name and not a company. So this is my thought about this. If you have any objection, of course, always let us know in the comment section. You don't need to fight me and say maybe I'm wrong or I'm right. I am giving you the information based on what I have studied, based on my experience in this space, and what I think the government will do. I am not standing as an authority to say this is exactly what is going to happen. So if you think you have a contrary opinion to what I've just said, drop it in the comment section. I'm going to go through, read all of them, ask questions also related to what I already know, and if I need to make new videos to address some of the things you have said, I will definitely do that. So please like this video. Of course, you have to share this video because everybody wants to see this kind of information now. It is not an option that you don't want to see. So you want to see it. So please, if you also love what I do and you want to see more videos from me, you want to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so by hitting the subscribe button, turn on the alert bell so that YouTube can notify you when I make new videos. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.